Well, we are live here with Sports Entertainment Tonight. Although nobody can see us, well, there we are.
Hello.
Yeah, we were playing a little hide and seek with you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this is Sports Entertainment Tonight right here on AOC and live on WGS-TV on YouTube and on Twitch. I am your friendly neighborhood Russell Gamer, Double B, Billy Boudreaux, and returning this week, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Nayday. Last week was a payday, so that's why he said, hey. Fuquay. And we got a lot to talk about, and this is going to be our big WrestleMania show. We're going to talk about WrestleMania. We'll talk about NXT Takeover Orlando. But before we get to it, I want to follow up on a story we talked about last week, which the show was solely on YouTube. So if you're watching us on the archive on YouTube, card will probably pop up right above my head for you guys to check out last week's show. But what we talked about, Nick, on last week's show was the whole situation about the Paige, Brad Maddox, Xavier Woods sex tape leak, that being leaked. And since you weren't here last week, I wanted, before I follow up on it, what's your take on it?
I really liked the look of Paige's vagina, personally. Yeah, but I mean, I feel for Paige, I mean, I'd hate for, one of my many, pictures or videos or whatever make it out on the internet or whatever. So, yeah. I don't know. Needless to say, you feel for Paige and old El Patron, but it's probably a publicity stunt for her to make some more money. You never know. So
you don't believe that there should be any ramifications, not only towards Paige, but Xavier Woods, who was also featured in those videos?
If that's a policy that they have, I mean, I remember something similar happening to Seth Rollins not too long ago, and he didn't seem to get in trouble. So, I mean, I guess stuff they get hacked and stuff gets out there.
Yep, and what's up to Can Troy and our guest co-host from last week, Mark Smith, is in the YouTube chat right now. And, well, here's the reason why I wanted to follow up on it. Now, for reasons I will not say on here, I too viewed the videos. And here's what I got from them. A lot of the videos were of a personal nature.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them were like personal messages while Paige was kind of exposed, but she was sending a message to, I guess, whoever she was involved with, and one could possibly assume that it was Brad Maddox, because Brad Maddox was in the video.
Well, it was Brad Maddox, definitely, which actually the version I saw, I didn't see Xavier Woods, but apparently there is another longer version, yeah.
Yeah, there is another one. So the reason why I brought this up, it was brought to my attention just yesterday on eWrestlingNews.com that Paige has put out a tweet saying that she is so emotionally distraught and upset over everything that's transpired over the past week that she is considered physically harming herself. And
I did hear something about that.
Yeah, and that's one thing. If you ever get down to that line where you feel that you have to physically harm yourself, seek help, because there are people out there who can help you, and physically harming yourself is never the answer. It's never the answer to do something like that.
Didn't she just get married last weekend and tweet that she was happy? I don't know.
Yeah, but ever since the tape got leaked, it's been like that. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I just wanted to put that out there that everything like that was happening. And what's up to American Dream in the Twitch chat, and Code Lions is now hosting me. I don't know how to get out of this exit host mode. It shouldn't be on there anymore. But if you guys on Twitch can tell me what you guys are seeing right now, it would be very helpful. If you can see us at all, please type 1 in the chat. I would really greatly appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, Nick, I just feel like that's something that if anything happens in your life where you get to the point where you consider physically harming yourself, that's when you need help.
Surely. Which, I mean, I'm not sure if it's a cry for help or if it's just part of, her building her character even. You know, as
I
like
don't
the
think this
emo
has anything
chick.
to do with WWE personally, from the videos that I saw, because like I said, everything was of a personal nature, everything they were doing in the privacy of between consenting adults.
Well, you gotta know, I guess, if you video anything nowadays, it can get out there.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing, too. You know, especially since they're all high-profile names and stars. They're very recognizable. WWE is seen in millions of homes all over the world, and I guess when you're like a high-profile celebrity, and that's what Paige, Xavier Woods, and Brad Maddox was. I say was because he was fired 2 years ago, but apparently he's still getting jobs. He's getting booked everywhere, and then Code Line says, "I hope Paige is okay. I'm sure she is now. About to get married to Del Rio." Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there that, you know, if you ever consider harming yourself, ladies and gentlemen, please seek help. Please seek help. Harming yourself is never the answer. It never solves anything. You only end up hurting yourself and the people around you. So I just wanted to put that out there, you know, make it known, and hopefully Paige will be okay. And hopefully Paige will get the help that she needs.
I agree.
But anyway, now that that's out and about, let's get to the topic tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and that's NXT TakeOver Orlando and WrestleMania 33. And one of the things going into this weekend, Nick, before we get to the actual matches, is NXT has, whenever they have a takeover show before one of the major pay-per-views, personally, in my opinion, they have always outshined the main roster and always put on a better show. Do you kind of see that happening this weekend with TakeOver Orlando?
It is a good possibility, although I think the TakeOver, the NXT roster has been somewhat depleted and suffering from that. And the hype isn't as much as it was maybe a year or two ago.
Well, the thing is right now is because we only have 4 confirmed matches.
Sure.
For TakeOver Orlando, and one of Mark says Brad Maddox owes Paige for making him relevant with the leaked tape. He's got a point there.
Which, yeah, you know, Brad Maddox probably leaked that tape.
Yeah. Also, thank you to Viper of Sins for hosting the stream, and he says great talk show. Thank you very much. If you guys want to weigh in on anything we're talking about, be sure you put it in the comment section, or you can call in to 337-366-8951. That's area code 337-366-8951. Code Lion says sometime next month. She's living a crazy lifestyle for sure, but she's growing up. Well, like I said, she's considered harming herself, so hopefully she gets the help that she needs. Because, again, harming yourself is never going to be the proper answer. It's never the answer. But anyway, now that's out of the way, let's talk about first NXT TakeOver Orlando. And we got a call. It's from Corey. Corey's called in. Corey, what's up?
What's the deal, baby?
How you doing, Corey?
Pretty good.
WrestleMania week, man. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but first off, Corey, before any further, you just heard us talking about this whole situation with Paige. She's considered hurting herself because of the leaked tape. What are your thoughts about that?
She better not do that.
Better not do that.
Yep.
Yep. I love kids, bro.
So does Alberto El Patron, considering the fact they're supposed to be getting married. Code Lions in the chat room says NXT and Ring of Honor will be amazing shows before Mania. I have to agree. Constantly. And that's one of the things I've noticed, Corey, about NXT as of late. Whenever they go on before one of the big pay-per-views, they've always had a really great show. And do you think we're going to get that from NXT TakeOver Orlando this Saturday?
Yeah, but I think at the same time, I think WrestleMania is going to do better.
Before we go any further, Nick, Viper Sins has a question for both of us. What are our thoughts on the Hardys coming to WWE? Nothing like that has actually been confirmed, as far as I know. I know that they still signed to Ring of Honor. And the whole rumors about WWE buying out Ring of Honor from Sinclair Broadcasting has fallen through. So WWE will not be purchasing Ring of Honor. So as far as I know, the Hardys aren't going to be in Ring of Honor.
Right, I'm thinking that the Hardys possibly could be showing up on the Raw after WrestleMania.
So
Yeah, I see that too.
yeah, but here's the question though: if the rumors are true, will they maintain creative control of their broken gimmick? Will they be coming in as broken Jeff Hardy and broken Matt Hardy?
I think they're going to come in ultimately with the gimmick of taking over the tag team division all over the world, and they've got the other titles from the other shows and the other companies, and they're going to want to win both the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles.
Corey, what do you think? Do you think we're going to be seeing the Hardy Boys on Monday Night Raw this Monday?
Maybe so. Like y'all say, they might come back as Broken Man and Jeff, or they might come back just as the Hardy Boys.
I think the only way, personally, that I see that Matt and Jeff Hardy would come back to WWE is if they would write into their contract that they maintain creative control of their character. Because they developed the broken gimmicks themselves. And
Hey, we predicting tonight, right?
oh yeah, we're about to get to it. We're about to talk about NXT Takeover Orlando. And by the way, Nick, Mark said that you had a good point
With
what we talked about, I believe, with the Hardys.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can see it definitely happening on Monday after WrestleMania, because that's when they, start from scratch. It's
All right, let's get to the first match. And again, we're going off the advertised match cards that have been advertised on WWE.com. The first match for NXT TakeOver Orlando is the debut of Aliester Black as he's taking on Andrade, Cien, Almas. And Nick, this is almost a no-brainer. Whenever you got a guy making his debut,
they always win.
Yeah, because you have to put him over and you have to make him look strong, especially when you're starting a new gimmick with a new face. And if you send that new face out there and he doesn't go over, the character just starts to look weak.
Surely, yeah, and that goes without saying, and that seems to be kind of the ongoing theme with NXT. Every takeover, they seem to have some type of debut of another big wrestler, which is good. They need that.
They definitely did. Twitch Wrestling Foundations, welcome to the chat, and he says, isn't Aliester Black Tommy End? Yes. Yes, that's exactly who it is, and he will be making his debut as Aliester Black come this Saturday. And if you guys want to go in and start putting in your predictions, I will read them out loud here on the chat. And Corey, you gotta agree, whenever somebody's making their their debut, you gotta have them win,
Yeah, when you first start out.
Yep. And Andrade, Cien, Almas, I don't know if I buy him as a heel. I mean, his actions are kind of good, they're heelish, but his promos, and because of the lack of English that he knows,
right.
I don't think he really can get himself over by himself. He would need somebody to speak for him.
I agree.
You have no idea who I'm talking about, do you?
No, not at all.
Nope. No, well, that's because I'm the NXT guy here on the show.
I know who Cien Almas is.
Yeah. But, so let's look at the NXT Tag Team Championship Triple Threat Elimination Match. We have the new champions, the Authors of Pain, defending against basically the entire NXT Tag Team division right now at NXT, which is in the form of Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, or #DIY, and the Revival. And with Dash and Dawson, I gotta say, if we don't see a call-up of Dash and Dawson after Monday Night Raw, whether they go to SmackDown or Raw, to me, I think it's time. I think, they have earned it. They're the only NXT tag team to be known as the two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. They're incredibly over as heels, and well, not just as heels, but the fans kind of sing along to their theme. If you ever get a chance to see that.
Full Sail is its own beast.
Yeah, exactly. And it's gonna be really interesting to see how the crowd in Orlando take to it. But do you see a title change happening right here?
It is quite a possibility. I don't know. What do you think, Billy?
I don't know. I think Authors of Pain have been on quite the roll.
I think they're going to keep it.
That's what I'm thinking too, but I think it's going to be a good match. I still think it's going to be a good match.
It's going to be good because DIY and the Revival, but, Authors of Pain will probably end up winning.
Because there's some big boys in me.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, Twitch Wrestling Foundation. Viper of Sins wants to know what happened to Solomon Crow. He wanted to get out of his contract, and he did, and so now he's back as Sami Callihan in other promotions. Twitch Wrestling Foundation says, get Zip Coulter form. Zip Coulter is under contract to Impact Wrestling, so he can't do that.
I didn't like that little dude.
You know he's also known as Dirty Dutch Mantel, right?
Who is that, Coulter?
Yeah, that's who that is.
And what's his name?
Dutch Mantel.
Dutch Mantel. What a name.
Yeah, he wrestled a lot in the 80s. I remember because I watched him wrestle when I was a kid. And, Twitch Wrestling Foundation picks the Revival to get the championship. And, that would be interesting to put them titles back on them. If anybody else in the chat room wants to put in their picks. I kind of see it, since it's an elimination match, I kind of see DIY and Revival kind of going at it, and one of them being the first elimination, and then Authors of Pain just come in and just dominate them.
Right, I could definitely see that as well. Is it, let's see, elimination match?
Yes.
There'll be a quick elimination and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it happening.
But, so, my pick is Authors of Pain. Corey believes that as well. Twitch Wrestling Foundation in the Twitch chat says the Revival. I don't know if anybody in the YouTube chat's got a pick yet.
Big boys.
Oh, they are definitely to say the least. But next up, the NXT Women's Championship match. My personal favorite. Well, she's one of my favorites, but she's not my personal favorite, Corey.
Come on now, Corey.
Corey, how long have you known me here on the show? Which one of them is my personal favorite, Corey?
Asuka.
Thank you. My personal favorite, Asuka, defending the title against Ember Moon. Now, as much as I like Asuka, and I like Asuka a lot, I think personally that this is the moment, Nick, where not only she takes her first loss, but drops the title and gets bumped up to the main roster. I think if there's ever a perfect time for that to happen, this would be it.
I agree. And do you think Raw or SmackDown?
I still think SmackDown because of the fact that Daniel Bryan, every time he's put over the SmackDown Women's Championship match, he says every woman available on the SmackDown roster, they could do something like they could sign her within 24 hours and say that she's part of the SmackDown Live roster.
Right, exactly. And I think that could be what happens, and Asuka could be your SmackDown Women's Champion by next week.
And Vipers of Sin also picks the Authors of Pain to retain. And I gotta say, putting the title in Ember Moon is just as talented as Asuka is. I mean, she's phenomenal in the ring. Just as good as Asuka, even though, like I said, I have a personal preference towards Asuka. But I still think personally, Corey, this is the time they take the title off of her and they call her up to the main roster.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. And give the belt to Ember Moon.
Viper of Sin says in the chat room, but Asuka is booked for NXT for the next week or so, but that's what he's heard on YouTube. I'm just speculating on what they could do with Asuka. But let me just put it to everyone like this. I believe the loser of the NXT Women's Championship match will be called up.
Sure.
So they could call up either Asuka or Ember Moon.
I want Asuka to take that belt.
Twitch Wrestling Foundation says Ember Moon will win because they teased Ember was a tough opponent, and then Asuka will move up, which is basically what I just said. But so for those reasons, I'm picking Ember Moon to win the NXT Women's Championship, and I think putting the title on her will be the next step in the next direction for the NXT Women's division, and a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned, because I think they'll be leaving it in good hands with Ember Moon. But speaking of bad, how about this? The NXT Championship Match. Bobby Roode defending the title against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Who y'all picking?
Well, here's a question I want to ask to you, Nick, first before we make a pick on that, is do you see either one of these guys, whoever loses this match, being called up?
I could see Nakamura going up.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's hard for me to say, because that's why I still want to make the same generalization for this match that I made for the NXT Women's Championship match, and that the loser will get called up to the main roster. I think Bobby Roode could also be called up. Bobby Roode is that talented.
Right.
Yeah, he had an amazing run in Impact Wrestling. He's done a lot in NXT in the short time that he's been there, and I think he still falls under the same category as Austin Aries. A guy who's extremely talented, didn't really need a lot of time in NXT personally to develop his character because he is that good. And I could kind of see the Glorious gimmick getting over on the main roster. I mean, it's hella over everywhere Bobby Roode goes.
I agree.
But Shinsuke Nakamura is just as over, so that's why there's a conundrum when it comes to that. So it's very difficult to say personally who I think is going to come out as the champion. So I'm just going to toss that invisible coin and say Shinsuke Nakamura to win the title.
I think so too. I see that.
Well, so we don't tie up the phone lines anymore, Corey. I'm going to ask you for your picks first for the two big matches of WrestleMania, and that'll be the championship matches. First off, where do you see Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title? Which part-timer becomes a part-time champion?
I'm going to say this. Goldberg, I see him keeping it. But at the same time, we all know Brady.
Viper soon says I think Roode will lose so he can get up on the main roster. Yeah, I just tossed a coin, and honestly, I think Bobby Roode can make it on the main roster. I mean, if he made it on Impact Wrestling, he can definitely make it on WWE.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match? Oh, quick question. Which one of the championship matches do you see being the main event? Like, which match do you think will be the bigger match? Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt?
Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt.
Really? But
And then the next pick,
yeah, your pick for that one.
since he won the Royal Rumble, I think he's going to get the belt.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I would not be surprised to see that happen. Well, Corey, we need to go ahead and free up the phone line, but it was great talking to you, man, and we'll talk to you next week after WrestleMania, man, because it'll be quite the show to see.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about it.
All right, Corey, thanks for calling in, man.
All right, y'all be good.
All right, man, you have a good one.
Have a good one, man.
All right, y'all too.
So again, if you guys want to call in and give us your picks for either NXT Takeover Orlando or WrestleMania, call into the number you see at the bottom of your screen. That's area code 337-366-8951. Or you guys can get in on the YouTube chat, which our friend Mark Smith says, glorious, hashtag Mark in and out. Okay, Mark, if you want to say it like that.
All right.
And of course, Viper Sins also picks Bobby Roode to lose so he can go up to the main roster. So, again, I kind of see that happening. But now we've gotten over NXT TakeOver Orlando. Nick, you want to kick us off to WrestleMania on the first match we're going to talk about?
All right. You want to work our way up to the main event?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess starting at the bottom of the card, we've got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Those are always hard to call because there's so many people involved, and there's really...
sometimes they have surprise call-ups from NXT.
Yeah, I mean, like last year with Baron Corbin winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Nobody could have predicted that.
Yeah, but do you think they should add a special stipulation that the winner should receive like a
title shot?
A title shot for any title they choose?
I think that would make it a little more worthwhile than just some trophy.
Yeah.
But, as far as I have some of the favorites in the match, definitely Braun Strowman. Sami Zayn, I think, comes up as a possible winner.
Well, he is the underdog of the Underground.
Surely. Big Show, which, of course, I think...
winner?
Yeah, he'll get eliminated like he always does, by everybody.
He won it 2 years ago, didn't he?
Right, you're right. Let's see. Other than that, I don't really see anybody from the Raw roster that stands a chance. You got Goldust, R-Truth, Primo Epico, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. Man.
Yeah, a lot of mid-card to lower mid-card.
On the SmackDown side of it, you got Dolph Ziggler, the Usos, American Alpha, who aren't going to be on the card. They're going to be in the Battle Royal.
Wait, they're not going to be defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles?
They are not going to be defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. They're going to be in the Battle Royal.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they do that? If they're going to defend the Raw Tag Team titles, why not the SmackDown?
I guess because they thought they had too many title matches.
It's WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. You should have every title on the line.
Well, if you watched SmackDown this past week, they pretty much said that Alpha and the Usos are both going to be in the Battle Royal. So it is what it is.
I don't agree with that decision.
That's probably why they did the Alpha Usos a couple weeks ago, and put it on the Usos.
I mean, what was the point of dropping the titles to them if they weren't going to have a rematch at WrestleMania? That makes no sense to me.
And that's why they haven't been on TV, really, for the most part. But other than that, you got Mojo Rawley, Rhino, Heath Slater, Fandango, Breeze, Ascension, Apollo Crews. So not really anybody on the SmackDown
Mark, you
side.
can shut the hell up. Picking James freaking Ellsworth to win.
That's another good one. Yeah.
It is not a good one. And he said he was bringing the heat. Yeah, I got your heat right here. As Viper Sins, he says, I think Braun or Big Show will win. Those are two of the favorites to win.
I think it's either going to be Braun or Sami Zayn. And then, really, technically, Samoa Joe doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. However, I think Samoa Joe is going to be getting involved in the Triple H and Seth Rollins match.
More than likely.
So I think that's his written-in role for WrestleMania for right now. Okay, the next match. But, yeah, as far as our picks...
It's like I said, with so many people involved, it's almost random chance to say who's going to win the match.
I'd say Braun Strowman is definitely the favorite.
Yeah. If Baron Corbin wasn't in it because he's in the Intercontinental title match with Dean Ambrose, I'm going to pick Baron Corbin as a repeat winner. But Braun Strowman is the favorite person to go. So, and I'm going to say Strowman.
Yeah, I agree.
And I hope he squashes James Ellsworth like a bug.
That would be fun. Next, we have the SmackDown Women's title being defended. Alexa Bliss.
Wait, don't we also have the Cruiserweight title match also on the kickoff?
Well, I'm not sure what's on kickoff and what's...
Yeah, I have it confirmed right here. The Cruiserweight Championship match between Neville and Austin Aries will be also on the kickoff match. And I got to say, regardless of who wins that one, Nick, this is going to be one hell of a match to watch.
I agree.
And it's almost making the kickoff show worth watching.
And I think it's going to steal the show, as far as the pre-show.
Yeah.
However, I do wonder, are the rest of the Cruiserweights, they don't really have anything to do with WrestleMania, are they going to be in the Battle Royal?
I would speculate that they would be because...
Or maybe get like their own 8-man tag or something?
Well, they could do something unannounced. It wouldn't be like WWE hasn't done that before at any of their shows.
That might be maybe the rubber match that might get cut if they need it,
Yeah,
a time filler.
Yeah.
But getting back to Neville defending his title against Aries, do you think we see a new Cruiserweight title champion?
As much as I like Austin Aries, I think Neville has really brought the division to light. He's been one of the bigger names to hold the championship. And he's put a lot more focus into that.
I agree.
I'm not saying that Austin Aries couldn't do the exact same thing. Austin Aries has been a champion almost everywhere he's been.
And he's a big name too.
So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to stick with Neville to retain. However, I would not be surprised to see Austin Aries win it.
I agree with you. Neville has been a great heel. He's been great for the Cruiserweight division. I think Austin Aries will add a lot to the division as well. However, I think Neville could win in some kind of dirty manner, prolong the feud, because they are going to have a lot of other title changes, and they don't want every title match to be a title change. So some people are going to retain at WrestleMania. I think Neville could be one of those champions that retains.
Viper of Sin says, I say Aries will win.
Well, with it being on the pre-show, now that you mention it, with it being on the pre-show, just to get people to buy into the pay-per-view, they might have a title change there.
Yeah, it's possible there. And Mark says, how is Aries and Neville not on the main card? I really don't know.
Because that's how they treat their Cruiserweight division, like they used to treat their women's division. Basically, they get these short matches and it's just, they get the D treatment. But then again, they're not really over with the crowd. The crowd's pretty much crickets whenever they have the Cruiserweight matches.
Yeah, but with Aries and Neville, I think that's a different story.
It's a different story with Aries and Neville. Other than maybe Jack Gallagher at times, and Rich Swann at times, the crowd just really isn't over for the Cruiserweights.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think those are the only confirmed kickoff matches that I have. For a 2-hour kickoff show, there's only 2 matches.
Well, you know what they do. The Battle Royal will last a good 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the Cruiserweight title match will last a good 15, 20 minutes. So, and plus, have you seen, let's talk about this real quick. Have you seen the ramp or the stage at WrestleMania?
No, I haven't.
They pretty much built like a roller coaster, and the stage goes at a steep slope, and so I don't know if they're gonna ride in on a roller coaster maybe, or
I almost wish I brought a picture of that so we could show everybody here on the show tonight.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen it, they got a bunch of pictures out there of the stage. But it looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. And it's like a wrestling, they really sold the
Ultimate Thrill Ride.
Ultimate Thrill Ride this week. Every wrestler was saying it pretty much. Needless to say, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. It's going to be big.
It's going to be interesting to say the least.
So, with it being on the pre-show, I don't know. I could see, Neville. Yeah, I'm still going Neville. Retaining on the pre-show. I don't know, Aries on the pre-show.
Just toss the invisible coin.
Toss the invisible coin. Actually, with it being on the pre-show, sell the pay-per-view, have the babyface win it on the pre-show. Aries. Okay, so no other pre-show matches. Let's move on to the main card. I'm thinking SmackDown Women's title probably is the lowest on the card. Next, Alexa Bliss defending the title, which, get this, why bring back Naomi on SmackDown this week? What was the point of that?
Well, if she was healthy enough to go, she's another body they can put into the match.
Why not make her a surprise at WrestleMania?
Well, I think they might be saving that for whoever
the secret, right.
Yeah, but here's the problem I see with this match. We still don't know what kind of match this is going to be. We don't know if it's going to be like a women's battle royal. We don't know if it's going to be a ladder match.
I think it's going to be like WrestleMania in New Orleans, where they just had a bunch of women in there, and it was the first one to get a pin to 3.
Kind of like a championship scramble.
Pretty much, yeah. So we got Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Mickie James, Natalya, Carmella, Becky Lynch, and possible speculation of Asuka even.
Yeah, Asuka or Ember Moon. Viper of Sin says maybe Naomi will win. He's not sure.
Yeah, Naomi at the home crowd in Orlando, that is a possibility. However, if Asuka comes in, then I definitely could see Asuka winning. But I really don't see Alexa Bliss retaining.
Neither do I.
And I think it really was just because Naomi got hurt that they put the strap back on her. If anything, I don't know. I see either Asuka or Naomi.
Yeah, and like I said, it all depends on what kind of match this is going to be. And if there are any more unknown variables, like will they call up Asuka or will they call up Ember Moon, whoever loses the NXT Women's Championship match Saturday night? and what kind of match is this definitely going to be? Because we still don't know that.
Well, and I definitely think Naomi is going to have the best WrestleMania entrance of all of the women.
Since it's her hometown of Orlando.
Well, and plus, like, she's got an awesome entrance. As is with the glow, stuff.
And you know, with WrestleMania, they go all out.
Right,
Except
exactly.
for the one where they messed up and they thought that they could have Bray Wyatt coming out there with the light still being out, carrying his lantern like that. It's like, I can't see even though the sun is still out. I gotta have this.
Right.
Maybe it's for the marijuana smoke he has in there. Like,
there you go. That's actually pretty smart. So, who do you have winning the SmackDown Women's title?
Among the known performers in the match, I'm gonna give I'm gonna go by probability. I'm gonna give a 75% probability to Naomi, since it's her hometown. Mm-hmm. But at half the time, WWE doesn't allow their guys who are in their hometown to go over.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why I'm not going full 100%. I'm going to throw a little 25% curve towards Mickie James. I would not be surprised to see them go that route. I mean, she is a veteran of women's wrestling. She is awesome. She's never looked better, honestly, in my opinion. She's kind of like fine wine. She gets better with age. And I would not be surprised to see them put the title on Mickie James. Now, I'm just basing this on what's known right now at this time. Because right now, we still don't know, like I said, if there'll be any more women being called into this match. And we still don't know what type of match this is going to be.
Sure.
So
I think that definitely plays a factor.
So that's what I have to say about it.
Let's see. Next, we have the Raw Tag Team titles being defended with Gallows and Anderson against Enzo and Cass and Cesaro and Sheamus.
Bob Pennington in the YouTube chat room says, I say Naomi to win as well. So a lot of people in the chat room so far. Bob.
Becky Lynch on somebody.
I don't.
I'm coming.
Oh, Mark. Yeah, I see that. And Bob says, I can't wait for the Cena Nikki Bella to beat Miz. And I think he means Maurice, not Maurice. That would be a different person. I will say this, though. I love the Total Balance parody that Miz and Maurice have been doing since last week. I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
I agree.
But on to the Raw Tag Team. I like the fact that WWE was not subtle when naming a stipulation for this tag team triple threat match being the ladder match, since they used it in almost every segment they were involved in. I mean, I think a blind person could have seen that one coming, Nick.
Right. Well, I mean, and they got to have their ladder match. They've done it for the Intercontinental title the last few years, so they'll get some big pops that way and take some big bumps.
Viper of Sins, really? He says, I think this is Enzo and Cass will get their big break and win.
You think so?
It's hard to say. I like the fact that the Bullet Club have the titles right now. Strong heel tag team. I think we need to stop doing the nerd thing because I don't think that's selling. I think they need to let them be like hardcore heels like they were in New Japan. And I'm just reading what someone else has put in here. Code Lion says the club will win the ladder match. I'm going to pick the club to retain.
I am as well.
But I would not be surprised to see them do something like putting the titles on Enzo and Cass, since they are probably the most over team most over face team they have on Monday Night Raw.
I would disagree with that. New Day obviously is, but they aren't in the match.
Well, they're hosting the whole thing.
Exactly. But I could see Gallows and Anderson retaining the titles because ultimately, if the Hardys debut on Monday night, then that could be a feud they can go right into.
Yeah, and right now that's considered a still big if. Welcome to Native Demon Mayhem in the Twitch chat room. He says, I think the club will keep the titles.
Although I think Cesaro and Sheamus will steal that match, steal the show in that match.
Mark says, by the way, Cantroy says, I just saw the ramp for WrestleMania. It looks ridiculous. Probably ridiculously awesome, he's probably thinking. Mark says parody from Miz and Maurice is awesome, pun intended. Bob Pennington, Bob was asking us, what about AJ and AJ Styles and Shane McMahon? We'll get to that match.
We're working our way up the card.
Yeah, but go ahead and put in your picks for the Raw Tag Team title match in the YouTube chat, since Twitch has already done that. I would like I said, I would like the club to keep him, but I would not be surprised to see them put it on Enzo and Cass.
I agree. Next, the SmackDown Intercontinental title, Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin, which this one really hasn't had much of a build other than the forklift situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like I've said over the past few weeks, I've been impressed with what Baron Corbin has done promo-wise to building this match. He's got some really good promos, much better than what we have accustomed to see him doing, which shows signs that he can improve, unlike some people, hello, Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns is like robotic. I think.
Hoorah!
Yeah, and I gotta say this: will this be the time for Baron Corbin to earn his first singles championship in WWE? For some reason, I think that it kind of feels like to me he's been pushed quite a bit. And I would not be surprised to see Ambrose drop the title to Corbin. So
not at all.
I'm going to pick Corbin to win the Intercontinental title.
And I'm also going to agree with you there, Billy. I think he's not quite ready for the world title picture, and you should kind of put him in the mid card for a second. But he's pretty much more over as a heel than Ambrose has kind of been. I think Ambrose kind of let down the company as far as like being in the main event.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, the world title for the SummerSlam match was Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler.
And that really didn't sell very much.
It didn't sell at all. And Dolph Ziggler's in the Battle Royal, and Dean Ambrose is back in the mid card and probably going to drop his title at WrestleMania.
What's up to NKing729 in the Twitch chat? And he says, Corbin has had a super push. It's happening. Native Demon Mayhem says, I think that the Dean and Baron match will end in a double disqualification and Baron wins. Well, Baron's not on Monday Night Raw, so I think you probably mean SmackDown Live. And in reference to what you were saying about Dolph and Dean at SummerSlam, he says it was kind of sad that it didn't sell. And that's NKing729 who said that. Over on the YouTube chat,
nobody believed Dolph had a chance in that match.
Yeah. Bob wants to know who is the other tag team. Would that be on the Raw Tag Team title match? If it's on the Raw Tag Team title match, it's Gallows and Anderson, Sheamus and Cesaro, and Cass and Enzo. And Mark says, hell yeah, shots fired at Roman. Hey, I'm always brutally honest on here, so you're not going to expect me to lie on here about my personal opinions.
So we got about 12 minutes left with a lot of matches.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and go through them.
I think we both had Baron Corbin there.
Yes.
Raw Women's title. Bayley defending against Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Nia Jax in a Fatal 4-Way elimination match.
That's another toughie. Because you have 3 former champions and one person who's never won the championship. Do you think that this is the time that they put the Raw Women's title on Nia Jax?
No, actually, for me, I think they go Sasha Banks, turn heel, and like kind of screw over Bayley, like help Bayley to get to the finals, and then maybe cheat to win in the when it comes down to her and Bayley.
I would not be surprised to see that happen.
And all 3 girls take out Nia Jax first.
Yeah. Viper Sins picks Nia Jax to win. NKing729 says Bayley wins. Sasha immediately hits a backstabber and kicks off the feud for a while. So that's another thing that could happen. Bob Pennington on YouTube says Bayley's going to win. So that's pretty much the general consensus.
I'd say it's honestly. I mean, I don't think Charlotte's going to win. I would say it's probably maybe about 50% Sasha Banks, maybe 30% Bayley, 20% Nia Jax.
Would you consider it a shocker if Bayley retains?
No.
Well, yeah, let's go on from that.
So that one's kind of tossed up in the air.
Yeah.
Let's see. The United States title, Chris Jericho defending against Kevin Owens in a battle of the former best friends.
Oh, man. I mean, I loved everything they've done up to this point to not only put Owens over as a heel, but in Jericho as a face as well, in such a short period of time as well.
Right.
So, do I see them putting the United States title on Owens? I don't know. I think it all depends, if the rumors are true about this new evolution, and also the possibility of seeing Samoa Joe get involved in this match as well to kind of help Kevin Owens out. I'm still going to pick Jericho to retain. I think the United States title personally is good where it's at right now.
I'd agree with you there. And I think it could honestly come down to Kevin Owens getting disqualified.
Yeah, that can happen. And King says Owens because Jericho has a tour coming up. It's not kayfabe, but it tips the hands of the outcome. He's got a point there.
Well, yeah, and I know that Kevin Owens has been working with Brock Lesnar, and keep in mind Kevin Owens does have a world title shot rematch coming up.
Viper of Sins also believes Kevin Owens is going to win. So does Native Demon Mayhem with help from Joe. And Bob Pennington in the YouTube chat says Kevin Owens will destroy him because he's a lot stronger. And Mark says hashtag Sasha heel, please. And Mark also picks Owens. So we got a general consensus. We say Jericho. The rest of the chat on YouTube and Twitch are saying Kevin Owens.
Well, and they made a good point with Samoa Joe, and I remember that they do have somewhat of an alliance that could play a factor into Owens getting disqualified, possibly, or possibly even winning the title. Next match, John Cena and Nikki Bella against Miz and Maurice.
Oh, let's just say it right now, John Cena and Nikki Bella.
Yeah, we obviously know what's going to happen here, and this one is just kind of a crowd pleaser, probably for the women,
Yeah, but I will say this, like I said a while ago, I love the Total Bellas parody with Miz and Maurice.
They did a great job with that, and even Cena and Bella acknowledged that.
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
So I think they did a good job of selling this feud, ultimately. A lot of the other feuds were pretty sloppy put together as far as the storylines.
Yeah.
But this was one of the good ones.
Yeah, Viper Sin says Cena will squash Miz, and no new chance as of yet.
Well, they're going to do their synchronized AAs and, STFs and all that.
I was still laughing when Nikki Bella got Tyler Breeze up last week.
Oh, and he's been liking dressing in drag every week, huh? Let's see. So another big SmackDown match: AJ Styles against Shane McMahon in a no stipulation match. It's just basically a regular match.
What will Shane McMahon jump off of this year?
I think he's gonna jump off something into a table, maybe off the stage in some kind of form and manner. But if after 10 seconds they'll get counted out.
Did you see how badly he missed the elbow last week on SmackDown Live?
Yeah,
that was horrible.
Off. It was a little off. But for me, I think it's gonna piss me off. It's gonna piss the fans off if Shane McMahon wins this match.
Yeah, considering that AJ Styles, as you guys can see here, is the phenomenal one.
Yeah, he should. AJ Styles should have been in the main event.
I'm not saying Shane McMahon is a bad talent, but he's not a full-time talent like AJ Styles is.
I love Bray Wyatt and everything, but AJ Styles should have been facing Randy Orton in the main event of WrestleMania.
And I agree with what NKing729 says in here. He says Styles has to go over or it weakens the hell out of his character. Shane was a last-minute add-in because they were banking on Shawn Michaels to say yes, and he never did.
Okay. Let's see. Triple H against Seth Rollins. An injured Seth Rollins in a non-sanctioned match.
This really could be the most interesting match of the whole night.
I agree.
Because of the fact that Rollins finally got over as a face on Monday Night Raw. That's what a lot of people are saying. And since he's kind of fighting as the underdog in this match, in a sense, fighting the injury and trying to overcome the odds of the heel Triple H.
With Samoa Joe.
And possibly Kevin Owens as well.
Right.
Why not give the match to him? Because it would sell him as an underdog and would put him over more as a face.
Well, and I ultimately think that's what they're doing, is trying to, make Seth Rollins as the ultimate underdog, overcoming an injury, coming into WrestleMania, putting it all on the line, and selling him as the top heel, top babyface of the company,
And King has an interesting thing he says right here. Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, what about him? Possibly Battle Royal?
No, he says he could play a huge part in this match. He feels that Finn could...
Might help out Seth Rollins?
Yes.
That would be an interesting twist. But I honestly think Finn Balor will be back on the Monday after WrestleMania kind of thing.
Bob Pennington says Seth and Triple H will go after the bad knee and Seth will lose. And
Triple H is going to beat him down.
Yeah.
But Triple H is going to beat him down, but Seth Rollins is going to have some type of miracle comeback, possibly with a little help from his friends. Let's see. So, I don't know. You got Seth Rollins winning?
Yeah, because it would play into his character not only as an underdog, but it would help put him more over as a face.
And Triple H doesn't really need a WrestleMania win.
Yeah, I mean, he beat Sting, a year, 2 years?
2 years ago, because last year Triple H dropped the title to Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So,
in a painful WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Let's see. Undertaker against Roman Reigns. Speak of the devil.
Roman Reigns will submit his heel turn in this match. And with this heavily rumored to be the Undertaker's last match, and I believe it's going to be Undertaker's last match, why not go out and put the one guy over? I got to go Roman Reigns.
Sure.
As much as I respect Undertaker for what he's done in his career, he does not need to win his last match.
I agree. And I think we even might see Undertaker's last match in WrestleMania next year in New Orleans to avenge his loss against Brock Lesnar and win his last WrestleMania match. Anyways, but I agree with you. I think Roman Reigns does go over here. I don't know, although it would be nice to see the Undertaker just choke slam his ass to hell and give him a last ride or tombstone, all that good stuff.
And King says if it's Taker's last match, Taker won't lose. It's just how they do things. And
right.
Viper Sons also picks Reigns. So I think now we're down to the two title matches, aren't we?
Yep, with about 3.5 minutes left to go. So Bray Wyatt defending against Randy Orton in what's been built as kind of a spooky match with, ashes of Abigail and Orton turning on Bray Wyatt and a lot of deception. Possibly Luke Harper maybe getting involved with this one.
I would not be surprised to see Randy Orton take the title, but I would be even more surprised to see Bray Wyatt keep it.
Sure. And I mean, I think Randy Orton right now, between him, AJ Styles, and John Cena, they're the face of SmackDown. And Orton, he's a big name. He sells tickets, you know, and so I don't know. However, I do see Bray Wyatt retaining the title just because there's been so many other title changes throughout the night. And I think Goldberg is going to drop it to Lesnar.
And King has got another one. There's still a Wyatt family member out there unaccounted for that could interfere in the match in Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
So, and Viper Sins says, all I got to say, RKO out of nowhere, Randy Orton will win. And let's look at the last match very quickly since we are running out of time. The WWE Universal Championship, which you're kind of speculating will be the main event of WrestleMania.
I am speculating, and I'm not sure if it's confirmed yet, but I do see Brock Lesnar getting his revenge against Goldberg. Because obviously he's put over Goldberg time after time after time, and he's done. Goldberg's getting him a favor, and Brock Lesnar's going to win the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because again, it kind of looks like after WrestleMania, Goldberg is done.
Which is why I have Bray Wyatt winning the WWE title, because they're not going to change every title in one night.
Yeah, and so Viper Sin says, I hope Goldberg wins. I really don't know if Goldberg's contract extends beyond WrestleMania, to be honest. I've not heard anything. I think
he maybe signed a couple dates, but it's a possibility. But either way, it's WrestleMania weekend. I'm still pumped. I'm still a fan. I'm still going to watch it. It's 6 hours. It's a little long. Hopefully it doesn't go past 10 o'clock this year. Yeah. Last year it almost went to like 11.
Yeah.
And it started at 4. It's like way too long, WWE. I'm not trying to watch 7 hours of wrestling here. But Billy, I don't know. It's
very hard to say.
WrestleMania weekend.
So with that being said, guys and gals, that concludes our WrestleMania show for this year. I'd like to thank everybody who has joined us in the Twitch chat room. That's NKing729, Viper of Sins, Native Demon Mayhem. Also, thank you to Chauncey Bullock for hosting, as well as Code Lions as well. Also like to thank Bob Pennington and Mark Smith in the YouTube chat room, as Chauncey is also there as well. Guys, we are live every Thursday right here on AOC and WGS-TV, 9 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to tune in next week right here as we talk about what's going to happen on WrestleMania. Don't forget, check me out Sunday during WrestleMania for my live reactions on YouTube. So with that being said, I'm the Wrestle Gamer. He's Nick Fuquay saying, we'll see you next week, guys. Bye!